Please don't. Oh, wait. Hello. This is get this whole entire operation. I am going to be back, so please excuse me. Hope that you find something to entertain yourselves while I am away. Meaning, I just want to be a minute long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play this video and I should be back in 1 minute. You hear that? Be back. Told you it would be less than a minute. All right. So, okay, we don't need this. Now, hello. Good. Sounds working. Everything is good. I want to talk about today's video. So I'm going to get the volume up a little bit. Hello. Okay. Today, I'm going to be speaking about a topic that is really, well, it's something that I started talking about yesterday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand on that today. That's my plan. So yesterday, I started talking about the school of life. I'm going to continue in that direction. So now we're in Capricorn season, officially. And although the weather is not most suitable for what I'm going to talk about because it's snowy so early in the season, but it's still something that I do want to converse about. And so, school of life. Let's talk about the school of life. When you go through your education, you have tasks to complete, you have grades to earn, etc., etc., etc. And there are obstacles and challenges, and you start at one level and in another. I mean, you know how the whole thing works, hopefully. And another thing I spoke about yesterday is warmth and coldness. I spoke about that idea. And, you know, the very idea of being stuck, if you will, at school um, over Christmas. Now, I do highly recommend checking out the channel, The School of Life. And so, this channel features really meaningful posts and videos about life lessons. And I find Capricorn about pursuing your purpose, about achieving your task, about going after your ambition. It's all about, it's goal-oriented energy. You have a goal to reach a certain level when you go through school. And there's work that needs to be done and put in when it comes to school. And Capricorn is all about the hard work. And we indulge at this time of the year, and then we restrain ourselves next month. And next month is the heart of the Capricorn season in January. And I don't know why. I thought this up. That what if we could be awake when our chart ruler, meaning, okay, so for example, I have Sagittarius rising. So my chart ruler is Jupiter. My Jupiter is Virgo. And not only that, but it's also in retrograde. That doesn't sound like a really benefic Jupiter placement, doesn't it? Well, it's not, and it's a huge part of my reality that I have to live with. And what I'm trying to get out of it is the getting bogged down in details. Factually, Jupiter is in a sign of detriment in Virgo because Jupiter also rules Pisces. Because it's the ancient ruler of Pisces, and so of course opposite Pisces, a 180 to that would be Virgo. And Jupiter isn't the most comfortable in this sign because Jupiter is big, expansive, really positive, optimistic. Let's look at the big picture. Let's have fun. Let's indulge. Let's be carefree. Virgo is not about that. It's about getting clean, not starting yourself, getting all the details right, being efficient, taking care of the chop wood, carry water, really keeping it clean and keeping it, tight and in shape. Wanting to get things right. And so that becomes problematic, especially if it's in retrograde, which is any kind of limiting belief or you not being allowed to expand and feeling lack of abundance, lack of possibility and optimism and joy and enthusiasm. And there's some areas that need to be worked on. Whenever a planet's retrograde in your natal chart, that means there's still some work to do from a past incarnation. And it can be felt on a very deep internal level. And so, anyway, the first half of, December, we've had the Jupiter planet playing out really strongly, and then Saturn comes into the picture. And if we have Jupiter in Capricorn and Saturn in Sagittarius, so Jupiter rules Sagittarius, Saturn rules Capricorn. What if we flip those around? And, yeah. So, my Saturn is in a water sign. I was born with Saturn in a water sign. And within the next 3 years, I'm going to be having a Saturn trine to my natal Saturn. And my Saturn placement is also in detriment. Saturn rules Capricorn. Opposite that would be Cancer. So that's considered detrimental. But, and this is factually speaking, this is just factually. Now, is it what I believe? Guess what? It's not what I believe. Saturn's already about hard knocks, working really, really hard and long with blood, sweat, and tears, and having to work. And having to be disciplined and getting serious about whether you're not being responsible, are you living true to your values, and etc. And maybe the harder the better. And the more room for growth there is if Saturn is in a more difficult sign, such as um, Leo, Cancer, or Aries. If Saturn is placed in any of those three signs, you have a soul that came in and said, guess what? I want to do the work and I want to challenge. I want to stretch this lifetime. So, um, you know, going back to the conversation. So what if I was living in a wake while Jupiter was in retrograde, whatever sign it was in, and I was asleep and in hibernation when Jupiter is direct? If it was based on the sun sign, so my sun is exalted in Aries, and Mars is currently moving retrograde now. I don't have Mars retrograde in my chart. I'd be asleep. When Mars goes direct on January 12th, I'd wake up, probably feel the sorrow and guilt for missing Christmas. However, it was meant to be. That's not how it works. And, the school of life is also about learning facts, learning the facts of life, and being true to the facts. So let's face it, Capricorn is all about owning the facts and getting real about what's actually real, what's actually going on, and what will take place. And what will take place, I hate saying this, I really, really do, because when I say it, it just feels like I'm making a bunch of nonsense up. But it's not nonsense. I'm not going to say it. I really am not going to say it, but what I will say is it is better to just face the truth, accept the truth, and not deny the truth, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't agree with it, even if you don't believe it. Um, you know, Embrace it and be true to what's actually factually correct. And so Jupiter in Aries is expanding freedom, expanding one's authenticity. And freedom does have its limitations. And so, um, you know, um, it'll be really difficult when you fight or resist against what's actually happening and what will happen in certain information. There comes a point in time when you need to be true to it. And even if this feels wrong, it's still right. Now, I have a choice in the matter. I mean, it goes either one way or the other way. I am not saying anything that is not authentic to me, even if it is the truth. I have two choices. Sometime next year, I'm going to either come out with a video that says, I may come out with two videos: solar eclipse in Taurus on May 19th, lunar eclipse in Aries on September 29th. Those events will not be happening, although we do have a full moon and new moon. I mean, eclipses really are full moons and new moons, but they are based off of the nodes. And because of that, I am entitled and I have the right to believe that, and there's really no other way to say this. I have to be true to what this actually is. But the nodes of the moon whatever signs they're in, that's where you find the eclipses. Well, guess what? As much as I hate saying it, about 90%, that's about 90%, there's a 10% remaining. And that 10% remaining is the stragglers. And straggler eclipses. On those days of the straggler eclipses, those days had better be great days next year. Great days. I mean, all those straggler eclipses, great days. Really, because it just doesn't make sense. So the first straggler eclipse is on April 20th. We have a new moon eclipse, partial eclipse, at 29 degrees of Aries. And we also have another straggler eclipse on the 28th of October next year, which is a lunar eclipse in Taurus. And if you look at the transiting nodes, you may find that what I say sounds like nonsense. And it is my belief that that's just going to be a new moon or a full moon. Problem is, that's not how it is. Otherwise, it shouldn't make any difference whether it's an eclipse or just a new moon or full moon. Just saying new moon or full moon is a default, is what you can go back to as a default. But then that would mean that the eclipse on November 8th was just a full moon. Well, that's not how it was. Sitting here right now, I mean, I may contradict what I'm saying about, not denying information. I may be a hypocrite. And I may very well put out a video title. I'll do several things. First of all, if I do talk about these two eclipses, which I don't believe in, then I'll say, oh, these are the straggler ones, and I won't make a big deal about it. I could also just say the second half of April, solar eclipse in Aries, not even talk about it. And just talk about what's happening around that eclipse. And just say, if I talk about just the new moon, or just say new moon in this sign, without even talking about the fact that it is an eclipse, quote unquote, or just skip over it entirely. I don't know. But anyway, it's about getting things correct. So, it would be fun actually. Not that this is coming up. It would be really fun to spin the wheel and see what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what I'm going to do for these two stragglers next year. Whoa. Okay, let me do this. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so let me share my screen here and show you what I'm going to do. So this here is a wheel. And I'm going to create options. So option 1, skip over it. Don't make these videos. Option 2, just say it's a new moon. Option 3, include the other lunations as eclipses. Option 4 would be to make a video but only talk about what's around those eclipses. Let's say what's around the eclipses: new moon, full moon, or no, I don't want to say that. Be true to what is real. That's another option. I think I have all my options. So let's spin and see what I'm going to do for these videos, because I'm having trouble deciding. Hello. Okay, here we go. Alright, here we go. Let's see, what is it going to land on? Oh, well. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now eliminate this. And I'm going to spin again. That's in case the heart changes. Now, let's spin again and see what I land on. Include the other lunations as eclipses. Which also means, which is another way of saying, leave out those. Okay, yeah. I shouldn't have put that be true to what it is in there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to end up doing, buckle up your seatbelts, because I'm going to kind of put a little bit of false information out into the, ethers. So, yeah, that's what has to happen in order for me to be authentic. So, sorry. But, Jupiter's in Aries and I don't care. I'm going to do what is right for me, period, end of story. So, yeah, forget that piece of that,